Okay, we're going to start up a game of classified information on Board Game Arena. It's currently in beta. I thought this would be a good opportunity to show a full game, and I'll also explain the decision making behind my moves. So hopefully it reemphasizes the rules of the game, but also gives some insight into strategy and decision making. Okay, I'm going to go into the game. All right, so this little wheel off to the left is a way to record what information you've seen. So I'm going to start the game by crossing off what I can see here. I can see this 8, and this 8 is an assassin guild, so I'm going to cross that off. Red means assassin, green means guard, and black means you've seen both, so it's completely eliminated. And then for the Sentinel cards, the 3, 6s, and 9s, they're just two clicks. One is blue, and then you can black it out once you've seen both. So right now I see both of the ones, so those can be eliminated completely. Oops. And then I see 1, 9, and I see the 8 assassin. So I'm going to mark all of that off, and now I'm going to decide what I want to do. High 10 bookend's great because it can help me eliminate a big swath of numbers, but it requires me to show another card, and all I have is a 9. So eliminating 1 through 9, or not eliminating 1 through 9, would not be very helpful. So I need to wait for a better card to come about. I can use this hacking dart, which will allow me to determine whether my opponent's suitcase is odd or even. So I'm going to do that. And it tells me right away that the suitcase number is odd. So I can eliminate all the even numbers because I know my opponent's number is odd. So I can eliminate the 2s, I can eliminate the 4s, I can eliminate the 6s, and I can eliminate the 8s completely. So now I know that my opponent's suitcase has to either be a 3, 5, 7, or 9. And now it's my opponent's turn. Hacking Dart's interesting because it gives you a lot of information, but it also gives it to you in not the most usable way. Because I need to know now, it's hard to get cards that can address all of these numbers. A 4 would be helpful because it could address the 3 and the 5, and an 8 is helpful, but there's no single card that really can get at all of those numbers now. So I want to do some further elimination. So my opponent played Digital Dig, and he moved a card into the discard pile to the bottom, so there was only one card. So he's basically testing to see if my suitcase card's a 1, and he learned that it was not a 1. So now I get to go again. I drew Pull the Plug. That's a helpful card to have here because it addresses 4 outs. If his suitcase, well, now it's 3 outs because I know he just played that 7, so I can eliminate it. But if his suitcase is 5 or a 7, that 6 will help me infiltrate it. So maybe a card I want to hold on to. And it's also a great card to hold on to because it can cancel my opponent's moves. So it's a good card to have in your hand. So I'm going to play this high-tech bookends, and I'm going to deploy that, and I'll show the 6. That'll be helpful because it'll help me either eliminate the 3 and the 5 or confirm that his suitcase is a 3 or a 5. So let's do that. Okay, so I learned that it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So I can eliminate the 3 and the 5, which is very helpful. So I know his suitcase now is either a 9 or a 7. So the best card I could hope for to address that would be an 8, because an 8 would address both the 7 and the 9. I know one of those 8s is not available because it's my suitcase. There's only 2 of every card in the deck. So I'm hoping I can somehow get an 8. If I can't, I just need to further eliminate and determine whether it's the 7 or the 9. I can address either of those right now. The 6 would address the 7, the 9 addresses the 9. But remember, at the end of the game, you can only have one card, so it's important for me to try to figure out whether we're dealing with the 7 or the 9. Otherwise, I have a 50-50 guess. High stakes gamble's interesting. I could still play it. I can take a 50-50 guess right now and guess either 7 or 9, and then depending on if I'm correct, that would end the game. But I usually don't like to do that unless I'm 100% certain. And the card's interesting because it has a built-in restriction. You need to have 4 cards left in the draw deck, so you have to use it really about this point in the game. And it's generally hard to have 100% certainty at this point in the game. So I'm pretty close, but even the fact that I'm pretty close is also a little bit rare. I'm just going to try to assassinate and see. Maybe I'm successful. Maybe I'm not, but maybe it'll let me learn some more. And also because guards are tiebreakers, I don't want my opponent to have too many guards in play. So I'm going to try to see if this works. Okay, it was successful. So he guarded with the 3, um, and that assassination was successful. The 3 is probably not, it's probably more of a quote unquote bluff, but also obviously you still want guards out, whether they're effective or not. Um, but the 3 wouldn't block any of the cards that are actually potentially available to be my opponent's suitcase card. Because his card could either be a 9 or a 7. The 3 doesn't really help with either of those. So I think he just put that out there for tie breaking purposes, which is very important. Um, if we both have a card that matches each other's suitcase, tie breaking is very important. If neither of us have a card that can get into each other's suitcase, tie breaking is important. So that is important. So he's going to play this short circuit card. This is part of the expansion material, the promo material, stretch goals, and this says play this card face up to your play area. If your suitcase is guarded by 3 guards at the start of your next turn, you win the game. So if my opponent ever gets 3 guards in play, he can win the game. He's not close to that now. I can block it with pull the plug, but I'm not too worried that he's going to get 3 guards by the end of the game. So I'm going to pass on trying to block that. I just drew the 8. And the 8, I drew an 8 guard. So that's great because that means he cannot be guarding with the 8. So it can't block. And the 8 is what I need to make sure I can win. So this is good. So now I'm really only concerned. I have a card that I know can win the game. Now I'm concerned with making sure that I win in a tie-breaking scenario. So I want to just get out guards at this point. So I want to put my 9 out as a guard. I know I don't need that 9 anymore um, as my last card in the game. Now I'm just waiting for my opponent to go. The Okay, I drew a 7. So actually now I can further eliminate the 7. So I know for sure his suitcase is a 9. The 7 won't help me with that, but the 8 would still. But now I have another guard card, and the 7's great for me to guard with because it's one of my potential numbers. So I'm guarding against two of the numbers that my opponent could have, and I also have the last one. So there's only 5 outs, and by outs I mean 5 cards that can win the game in any game. Here, those cards were 2 7s, 2 9s, and 1 8 because one of the 8s is my suitcase. But I'm guarding against both the 9 and the 7, and I have the 8. So I know there's no way my opponent can win. I also know that for sure that he has a 9 and I have an 8 that can um, crack his code or go to his suitcase. So I know that I'm in pretty good shape. Even with the tie breaking scenario, I'm not too worried. He can't break this 8, and I'm blocking against all of the cards that he could have to infiltrate my 8. I'm gonna try to do an assassination. I really don't care. This is the second to last turn of the game. I really don't care if this succeeds, because I know that I'm in pretty good shape here. But why not? Okay, so that was a fail, and this is interesting because I'll just like to show you what happens because I failed. He had to show me one of the cards in his hands, which is a 6, but I already know it's not a 6, so it doesn't help me eliminate anything. But it does give me some information about what this card might be. Because when you attempt an assassination, you're comparing code to code. I know that basically this code was a 567, so I know this card can't be a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, or an 8, because it would a code would go to one less and one more than is displayed. So it could still be a 9, it could be a 1, it could be a 2, it could be a 3, but I could have further eliminate the 3s. Um, oh, well, it doesn't matter, but it wound up being a 2. Okay, it's the end. It's showing that my 8 was good because it went through his guards. He did have 3 guards by the end of the game, but it didn't matter because I had an unguarded match. He had no match, and he was not able to, he was able to get through both of my guards, but it didn't matter because the 6 was not what he needed. So this was a win for me. Chose number 1, and that was a quick little game of classified information that might have taken a total of, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. All right.